let's talk about what principals can do to attract parents to the PTO. Now, this is especially helpful if you don't have a PTO or if your PTO is very small and you want to grow it so that you can grow family engagement. We're going to cover, 5 things that you can do to kind of attract parents and get them more involved in the PTO. This is really going to benefit you and your school long term because, as you know, greater family engagement is something that yields great results for the students and the entire school community. So the very first thing that you can do is be a cheerleader for the PTO. I mean, you need to grab that bullhorn. Maybe that's metaphorical. Maybe it is not. Maybe you actually have a bullhorn that you use to spread the word at car line or at the flagpole pickup or just different areas where parents are going to be. Literally tell them early and often about all the happenings with the PTO. The parents are very busy. They are very distracted. So the more that you can tell them, the more you repeat it, increases the likelihood that they are going to get involved and actually show up to whatever you are promoting. The second thing that you can do to be super supportive of your PTO is to actually go to the meetings as a principal. Go with a building report. Let parents know what is going on. This is going to be an incentive actually for parents to come to the meetings, believe it or not, because the kids are horrible about saying to their parents, like, what happened during the day. You might say, hey, what happened? How was your day? They're going to respond with a one-word answer most of the time. And so as a parent, you want to know what's going on in the building. And so that will be a great incentive if you know the principal is going to be at that meeting, that you can ask the questions to get the real scoop on what's going on. Even if your kiddo is a talker, they probably aren't telling you everything, and there's probably different things that you as a parent would be interested in knowing versus what your kid will tell you. So that is another great reason to go to the meeting, as in addition to demonstrating that you are a partner for the PTO to depend on. The third way that you can be supportive of your PTO and help it grow is to delegate tasks to them. Lean far away from micromanaging as you can, because these parents who are giving of their time are volunteers. They are not employees, and they hate to be treated like employees. They hate to be, because it's one that's kind of disrespectful of them not understanding that role. The parents, whether you realize it or not quite yet, they are full of hidden talents and treasures and things and skills that you have no idea about. And so when you delegate tasks to them, when you give them some room to kind of make it their own, it might not be how you exactly would do it, but at the end of the day, if it results in a positive experience for students and gets more parents involved, then that's really should be a win marked down in your book. Next, look for opportunities to collaborate and not compete. For example, maybe don't have your own school fundraiser this year. Maybe see if the PTO, if they can run a fundraiser and you can support their fundraiser, and see if they will give you a certain amount of money back from it. Maybe just be clear about what your financial needs are and see where they can support you. So the last recommendation for how you can attract parents to PTOs is just to communicate. Now, this kind of goes along with being a cheerleader. That more I was talking about enthusiasm level. I think you need to be genuine in your enthusiasm to demonstrate that you are excited about this. You want this to happen. Because if parents don't feel like you want them around, then they're not going to come around. But if they can feel that you want this to happen and that you are interested, and you are interested in forming a relationship with them personally as well as the general PTO, then that is going to be attractive to parents who want to get involved. And they're going to want to feel like getting involved. The communication piece about being honest about your resources and challenges. It is not a demonstration of weakness to explain your challenges or limitations. I think that is just part of being an honest human, and can create a stronger relationship if people understand that it's not all like rah-rah and cheerleading, that there is some honesty and truth and authenticity behind it. I think that is so attractive when I have that in a principal that is just a little more real with me. And those are the relationships that have always been the strongest in my experience. So part of the communication piece is also explaining to parents who are not involved, because they might not realize that actually the outcomes are better. Like, students do better when their parents are involved. They might not understand this. And most parents, they want the absolute best for their kids. So they will do what it takes, or they will go out of their way. Maybe not all of the time, because you are, of course, going to have like your superstar PTO volunteers who are always there and always game for everything, but welcome in parents at different levels too. They don't have to be giving 110% all the time for them to be involved. Of course, if every parent just gave 5%, that would be a heck of a lot more than what you currently have and would be beneficial for the individual students and the school community as a whole. So try and get them involved at some kind of level. So maybe that is going to be explaining that the PTO is a volunteer role and explaining kind of what the PTO does and why it's important for them to be involved. There's also a lot of bad stereotypes associated with PTOs and PTAs. And so explaining that how it is not their mama's PTO or not the 1950s bake sale kind of PTO, explaining how things have evolved will also help in communicating the true value of the PTO, which will make the more attractive for parents to get involved. Want even more guidance on how to be a stronger leader so you can run a better PTO or PTA? All of these resources and more are waiting for you at ptoanswers.com.